Why in the world are you back? Well, it's pretty simple actually. Ever since I finished college, I have been so freaking bored. I just figured, well, why not do some angel dodging in the meantime? So here I am. In college, I had a little bit of a weight issue. Yeah, it got worse, and I figured that it was time to do something about it. So I went on a diet, and in about 96 days, I got back to my high school weight. This is what I look like now. We got a lot to talk about. So, how did this happen? I went on a particular diet, and I'm not going to name it because I don't think it's relevant to this video, but I will say that I lost about 60 pounds in 96 days when I went on in 2012, and then I gained a little bit of weight, about 30 pounds in about a year. So this year I went on it again and I lost, how much? In 50 days, about 30 pounds. So it works well for me. But I think it's more important to share advice in terms of how to deal with a diet, because I don't think that this diet necessarily will work for everybody. It's more important to figure out what works for you. And I think the best way to figure out what works for you is to follow this simple acronym of what you see below you, DIET. I'll explain each category separately, starting with D. First is D. Do what you can. What I've noticed with a lot of people who start diets, especially extreme ones, is that they tend to take it to the very extreme. They go from eating whatever they want to eating nothing but just healthy food, and it's a hard transition. So in about 5 days, they might quit or just eat, regular food, and they say, oh, well, I can't do it, it's over, it's done. That's a bad idea. If you slip up on the first couple of days, especially on an extreme diet or exercise program, don't stop. Your body has to get used to going through a diet. What I would suggest actually is to, if you're doing one of those extreme diets, to wait and do it in increments. Like if you have to eat a certain amount of vegetables or fruit every day, eat it 3 times a week. Get your body used to it. Ignore distractions. If you're trying to lose 50 or more pounds, people saying, oh, well, you can't, eat like this, or it's not gonna work. Why would you think that, why are you spending all this money? Get that negative energy out of the way. In fact, it's better to be supported by people who are doing the same thing as you. Find people who want to lose weight, or encourage other people who might need to lose weight to join the diet with you. You have no idea how much friends and positive energy can help you accomplish goals, not just with weight loss, but in general. Moving on to E. Exercise naturally. You want to have exercise that is a part of your daily routine. It doesn't have to be lifting 250 pounds every day. It can be simply walking to the train station instead of taking the bus. It can be simply walking to your job instead of taking the train. It can be a light jog that you take every week. Whatever feels like it can be naturally incorporated into your life is something that is going to help you exercise over the long run, is the type of natural exercise that I'm talking about over here. And finally, T. This is what it all comes down to. Train to maintain. Your goal from day one should not be, how am I going to get this weight off now? It's how I'm going to keep this weight off. Nobody wants to go on a crazy diet for 50 days, lose 50 pounds, and then gain 60 in a year. That's counterproductive. There's no point in going on the diet. The point of going on the diet is to make sure that you look good for life. How would I implement this diet system that I'm talking about? Let's start with D. I would start by removing soda right off the bat. Then get rid of all the situations that you find yourself where you could be tempted to not be on the diet. If you go to parties where you have to drink, or if you have to, you go to a situation that has all this, junk food, like, a little get together somewhere, get rid of that. I'm not saying cut those people off, but in the beginning, it may be best to just kind of steer clear until you have the willpower to be able to say no, until you're in the mindset of the diet. Then E, exercise naturally. Again, get a jog in, do a couple push-ups. Get that mindset of, I'm going to exercise almost every day. at least for 30 minutes. And it's just gonna feel like a natural part of my daily routine, whether it be on your lunch break, during work, or after hours, after your job or whatever. Get that work in. And then finally, while you're doing all this, it'll combine to T, which is training to maintain. Every once in a while, I'd say maybe once every 2 weeks or every month, get on the scale and make sure that you haven't gained too much weight. If you have, don't be afraid to go right back on the diet if it's 10 pounds. I mean, if you gain 10 pounds in a month, that's not a good sign. Train to maintain. Make sure that the weight is off and it stays off. Well, I hope you liked this video and Return of Angel Dodger. I've got a couple more episodes coming up in the next couple of weeks, so I will see you then.